That's
the
all.
How About Hollywood does not endorse anarchy or civil unrest. Just for the record.
Okay.
Welcome back to the Hub on Hollywood. I'm James.
I'm Jamie.
On this week's episode, Boston is getting a lot of Oscar buzz. And speaking of the Oscars, was Barbie snubbed? And the backlash to the backlash. The Mothership is not going home to Netflix, that film starring Halle Berry and Jamie Blanco, and why the film got canceled.
Yeah, no, not starring me.
Yes.
But I am in it.
Nobody knows, so we'll just say you were second billing.
Cannot confirm anyway, so yes.
Cannot confirm, but cannot deny. You shall not deny.
Exactly.
But one thing we also cannot deny is that we have a big-time celebrity who is all the buzz this year.
Mm-hmm.
He's coming to Harvard, coming to Cambridge, Barry Keoghan. We were just talking about him recently. He is the star of the new, very controversial film, Saltburn. You've also recognized him in The Banshees of Inisherin, The Eternals. He's in a lot of stuff. Very interesting guy. But he was picked as Harvard's Hasty Pudding Theatricals 2024 Man of the Year. Jamie, this is a big honor for Harvard to bestow upon somebody.
It's also a mouthful to say. There's a lot
it
of
really
words
is.
In a row. It's a huge honor, and I think it's so awesome that it feels like Boston is the center of the world. You know, Hollywood East is strong, and all of these people and all of these films and all of these things that are being honored in the Oscars or that are noteworthy or people are watching right now. Saltburn is so hot, and we had an awesome discussion about how great and also disturbing the film was, and how incredible Barry's performance was in that film. I'm just really happy to hear that he is coming and that he's being honored in this way, and he gets a parade, right?
Yeah, he gets a parade. The Man of the Year festivity is taking place on February 2nd. And in addition to a parade, there will be a roast. And so I'm sure there's going to be a lot of fun stuff to poke Barry with. Not literally. That'd be awkward considering what was in Saltburn. But he will also be awarded with a pudding pot. They have not named the Woman of the Year. I believe last year it was she was in the new series. She's from Massachusetts. Do you know who I'm talking about? Last year's Woman of the Year. Woman.
Let's see.
It is. She's everywhere. Not Jennifer Garner. Jennifer Garner was 2022, but 2023 was Jennifer Coolidge.
There we go. That's right.
Yeah,
and she's from here, right? Yeah.
She's from here. She's from Massachusetts.
Awesome. I didn't know that until recently. But it makes sense, I guess, sort of. So that's awesome. So Barry, right, in Saltburn, who's going to be keeping his clothes on? That's my question. After watching that movie,
I think people are going to be ripping it off.
Yeah.
There's no stopping. There's no stopping that. He just has to accept it.
Very brave.
It's going to happen.
Brave performance.
He's a great guy, great actor, and very happy to see him being recognized locally. So if you are in the Boston region, keep your eyes out around February 2nd because he is coming to Harvard, coming to Cambridge for this prestigious honor. I know in addition to the parade and in addition to the roasting, they have like a bunch of like shows. Like they do like theatrical performances on stage. I think he also participates in them. Rob Odenkirk was Man of the Year either last year or in 2022. So really fun to watch. So we'll keep an eye out for Barry and
for James Rojas, who will be probably covering it. Will be out there with his microphone covering the festivities. WBZ.
That'd be very fun. Yeah. And speaking about festivities, Boston has a lot of reason to be festive. And that's because, just because of the great movies around here that have been recognized by the Oscars. Of course, that includes American Fiction, starring Jeffrey Wright. We had also Maestro, starring Bradley Cooper. And then we have a third movie, too, that was filmed in Boston, right? In and around here.
So that is The Holdovers.
The Holdovers,
which got
of course,
5 Academy Award nominations, including Best Picture of the Year, and it was your favorite.
Yes.
We've talked about that a bit as well. A new classic, maybe, perhaps, Oscar-worthy. What do you think, James?
Absolutely. No, this is one that I definitely want to watch. I don't know why my wife is a little hesitant to watch it. I keep telling her it's good. I keep telling her mom that she needs to watch it too. So it's on people's radar. It's on my wife's mom's radar, and so she should be watching it soon when it's hitting streaming services. But if you still want to see these movies in the movie theater, here's your chance, because after they get nominated, we are seeing these coming back to the movie theater. American Fiction. Randomly, I think Top Gun Maverick is back in the movie theaters. It's showing at select theaters over the weekend. So in case I think I saw the movie twice. I could be wrong, but it felt like I watched it twice. But that's a movie that deserves to be seen on the big screen. But American Fiction, Maestro, The Holdovers. Check it out. Check out a local theater near you, because the buzz is brewing.
The buzz is brewing. The buzz. All filmed here in New England. Casting calls of which we brought you here on the Hub on Hollywood. So if you want to win an Oscar, basically, just follow the Hub on Hollywood. That's what we do, right?
Absolutely.
You know who else was a Hasty Pudding Woman of the Year back in 2012? Or was it 2006? Hang on. I think it was 2006.
Those are very separate years.
Do you know who was Hasty Pudding's Woman of the Year in 2006, James?
Who?
Halle Berry.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, she was. She was one year, back when she played Catwoman. And Halle Berry was here in 2021, filming a new creation, a new feature film called Mothership. It was all the buzz when they were here filming. And around Plainsville, there was a big scene that was filmed there and got a lot of local coverage. James, after 3 years, almost 3 years of waiting for this film to come out, it looks like we may not be getting anything at all.
Yeah, this is crazy, because I know that Netflix, I feel like they just pump movies out one after the other. Like, you hardly ever hear about these movies. This one, The Mothership, was actually featured in the yearly roundup, kind of previewing the movies that are coming out in 2024. And so there was some buzz growing around this, and so much so that they included it in some of their other highlight reel that that Netflix released. And so to see that not get approval is pretty surprising, and pretty surprising for yourself, of course.
Right. So myself and many people worked on this film, myself included, and it's kind of anytime I get a featured background role, something happens, James. I swear I am in these movies. It's just like Dexter. I did this scene in Dexter where I was the featured waitress, and it was a 14-hour shoot where they had this special effects camera, and I was serving, the main actor, Dexter, and then the camera was following me around this restaurant. And so the effect was supposed to be that Dexter sits in the middle of the restaurant, the waitress comes and serves him, and then everything starts to blur around him. And it never made it. Equally, James. Yeah. I was a featured waitress, because apparently this is my movie job of choice. My movie profession is waitress. I was a featured waitress on Mothership the day that they did film in Plainsville at John's Diner, which is what all the buzz was about. Halle Berry was there, and so people were honestly, naturally very excited about that. And I got
could say very excited.
Yes, they were very, very excited. And how could you?
I'm sorry. Go on, continue.
And so there were two things. I serve Halle a cup of coffee, where I come up and I fill up her cup, then there was a scene where, this is supposed to be a small town that they all live in. And while we're in the diner, this caravan of, giant black SUVs goes screaming down the road. And everybody's looking up like, what the heck is this? It's a sleepy little town. We've never seen anything like this. And the camera was supposed to follow me as I run out of the diner and look at this caravan of cars that was of black SUVs that was flying by.
Then you pull out a submachine gun and start laying them out, right?
Right, exactly. I solve everything in the movie. I find the aliens. So, before we keep going, so this movie, Mothership, was supposed to be about a mother, Halle Berry, who finds a spaceship. Literally, Mothership. On her farm, on her property, after her husband goes missing, and her children have to sort of solve the mystery of where their father/husband went, and it all has to do with aliens. So, I mean, it sounded really interesting.
Yeah. This would have been Halle Berry's second space-themed movie in so many years, because she was also I think she was in the movie The Moon, where the moon was like crashing into the earth, right? But that was more like kind of a B-movie vibe.
Oh, wasn't that
like intentional?
Was that Moonfall?
Moonfall, yeah.
Moonfall, one of the worst movies I've... God, I can't stand that movie.
Or best worst movies.
I don't know, because it takes itself seriously, and then it doesn't, and it just pissed me off. But yes, it was a good bad movie. It was a bad movie. And if you go into it knowing that it's a bad movie, it's a lot more fun. You're part of the moon now, James. Did you know? So stupid.
One of the lines was like, "Oh God, it's the moon. The moon's coming for us," or something like that.
So stupid. Yes. So would have been another space themed, a little more terrestrial than that one for Halle. It's not the only movie that's getting canned, though. Well, we'll talk about the other movies that have been canned recently.
But I'm curious about why this got canned.
Exactly. So we've been reading a little bit, and I've been hearing a little bit behind the scenes. This movie suffered from a lot of reshoots. The necessity for reshoots and other post-production delays, James. And as I mentioned, this movie was filmed here in Massachusetts back in 2021. So it's been almost 3 years since they started production on this film. And among the main cast, other than myself, main cast, I'm not in the main cast, guys. I'm just kidding. Were her children, were the young actors who play Halle Berry's children in this movie. So by the time it came time around for reshoots, these children have already aged. So it's, what do? Do you use computer animation like CGI to age them back down? Do you use creative camera work? Like I can see how that part might have been cost inhibitive and really difficult. So just a lot of post-production complications. What else did you have you read about, James?
I mean, that's the main thing that I heard, and I'm just curious about, like, there are reports that cite several reasons for pushbacks, but I'm thinking, like, I'm curious of how that happens. Like, you have people on the cast, studios and those on the set whose job it is to make sure things keep flowing. If there are any interruptions, if there's any hiccups, to smooth them out as quickly as possible and to work on that. And then you have to keep in mind that if you are working with child actors, that's always in the back of your mind, no matter what you're working on, is that these kids will be growing up soon, especially when then there's a certain age range where a year or two they can shoot up a foot or so. And go through so many changes. And so that's one thing that I'm curious of, how that got away from Netflix, how that got away from studios, from the directors and everybody putting this together. So I don't know if Netflix is juggling too much on their plate, if this is one of those things where they think maybe, this is a good movie, but there are other bigger movies that we want to promote, put more focus, put more, interest in and money in. Maybe that's why this just kept getting delayed, and they thought, we'll get to it, we'll fix it. And then they ran out the clock.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it must have been that. And now reshoots are normal, right? Increasingly normal. it seems like there were significant reshoots that needed to happen in this film. And that is always a huge challenge. And you're right. At what point do you decide that you need those reshoots? And they need to happen quickly when you're dealing with child actors. But also what I'm hearing unofficially, James, what I'm hearing, out just
reportedly
hearing is that some of the other issues that may have been plaguing this production may have been locations related, may have been lawsuit and locations related. So, James, whenever you make a movie, okay, you have got to shoot it in a place, correct? So
no, you shoot it in a bubble where they where they film The Mandalorian, where the background's all fake.
And there, right, exactly. Oh, poor Mando. When you are shooting in real physical locations, it can be very, very complicated and challenging. So being a locations person, manager on a film, especially a major feature film like this, can be extremely challenging, James. And when something doesn't go right, it can lead to a lawsuit, it can lead to the back and forth, it can lead to canceled contracts, and then, it can halt production, or it can interrupt say you've already filmed the movie, and now you have this legal challenge or conflict with one of the locations you shot in. Now everything that you shot there can't be used, and you have to reshoot. So something like that can really significantly impact the production, especially since those sorts of things drag on. And when it becomes clear that, oh my God, this is really not going to work, it might have already been like 2 years. So that's sort of what I'm hearing unofficially behind the scenes, is that a location issue may have been to blame. Partially, what might have been one of the factors. And now I've seen what the location people had to put up with. There have been sets that I've been on where we are shooting in the middle of a city, for example. We were shooting in the middle of downtown Boston. I won't say the name of the movie because I'm not sure I can. Well, we were shooting in the middle of downtown Boston, where I was a background actor. They had transformed this city street into the 1800s, and there were a lot of it was still an active area. It was like an active mall around the area where this one street was shut down, and we were all filming there. It's also a place where people live, right? There are apartments that were abutted right to the street. And so you get complaints from the residents. You get complaints from the restaurants. The production that we were on had set off the fire alarm in the area. So the firefighters came, the police came, the owners of the location came, and were like just yelling at this poor location's, manager for the production. So it can be very, very challenging. Making a feature film is no small feat. It takes thousands and thousands of people, and I think that a lot of lay people don't really realize the tremendous effort, the tremendous human power that goes into making fantasy and, bringing these movies to life. So, unfortunately, the Mothership, starring Halle Berry, is one of the victims of these many, many challenges that can pop up and tank your movie. But I do want to say, James, Halle Berry, very nice.
Yeah.
So we were shooting this scene where, as I mentioned, I was the waitress, and we were in this very small diner, so cramped quarters, right up against each other. And as we're, waiting for the scene to start, Halle's sitting on the bar, on the table there, on like the bar, when you sit at like the little bar of a diner and they're cooking right there on the stool. And then I was right behind her at the little table that was behind her, and me and the woman there were talking about croutons on our salad. And Halle was like, "Yeah, I hate croutons on my salad too. Ha ha ha!" Like we're just laughing about
Who hates
salad.
croutons on salads?
I do, James. Okay, like it's just why the different textures? It's already crunchy. Why do you need extra dry?
Okay, I'm saying you
crunch?
and Halle Berry in a new light now.
We're just terrible people, right?
I love croutons. Like, how do you not love croutons? It mixes things up, and plus salads are already crunchy.
No, yeah, but you don't need dry crunchy with the wet crunchy. Like, it's
but you got the sauce, you got the ranch, you got the Italian dressing. You know, you make.
Agree to disagree here. I don't think we can be friends anymore.
Okay, well, back to Halle.
And she's just honestly.
How do you defend her?
Listen, she's just honestly one of the most beautiful people I have ever seen in real life. And
inside and out.
Honest to God, inside and out. Just one of the most beautiful, beautiful, beautiful people I've ever seen. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I can see why you were a movie star, because there's nothing that's on screen that isn't right there in real life. It's like, wow, she's so gorgeous. And she was kind, and listening to her act in that scene, which was really, really emotional. She was talking about her husband who was missing, and it's a world class. It's an amazing class in acting. It's first class acting class right in front of you. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but
so classy.
Right, extremely classy. It was just amazing to listen and to hear and to learn from one of the best in the biz, like, just a foot away from me. So that was an incredible experience. I'm really sad that this film is not going to make it, that we're not going to be able to get to see the fruits of all of our local, the local talent's labor on this one. Because I have a solution. I had a feeling it was going to be amazing. What's your solution?
So I feel like, okay, so Netflix, they could have done, I feel like this is what they should have done.
Okay.
They should have done the reshoots with the kids looking older and not said or done anything. Don't even address it. Just go through with it. And they've done this before. Mm-hmm. 2 words: Stranger Things. There was a hiatus because of the pandemic, and the kids, they all grew up. They grew 3 feet. They went through puberty and all that stuff, and then they go back to playing like these little tween kids, supposedly. Yeah. But they don't mention it. You just play it through. They play it straight, and you have all these young adults acting as if they're 13 still. It's like just, and we get it. The pandemic, messed things up, but. After the first shock of watching the first episode where they're all aged as normal, mm-hmm. It wears off. You're like, okay, you settle back into fiction, mm-hmm. And so they've done that before. They should have done it again.
Yeah.
It's a real shame.
Speaking of that, it has been done too, where they use computers to just slightly de-age and slightly age up. I know that's might be complicated and expensive.
Very expensive.
Do you remember Ender's Game with Asa Butterfield? Yeah. He was one age, when they shot the movie, and they used computer graphics, they used CGI to age him down and then age him up. And he was in the middle. He was in the middle age. He was right. He was in the middle. The real Asa Butterfield was in the middle, and then they aged him down at the beginning of the movie, and they aged him up for the end of the movie. So, I mean, it's possible. Is it profitable? Is it worth the cost? Maybe not. But
if they can give The Rock and Ryan Reynolds $1 billion for their Red Notice movie, they could throw some extra change for the Mothership. Yeah. But too bad that this Mothership will not be taking off.
Oh, and it's not the only
one.
Rather,
crash landed.
I just wanted to. Oh, it did crash landed in the Back Bay,
like a moon. Like Moonfall.
You guys. At least there's a reason. At least there was a reason why. This movie, everything that happened in post-production, they have an excuse. There are a lot of other movies that have been canned recently, James. There's no reason for it, except that, let tax write-off. The whole movie is filmed, everybody that worked on it, it's ready to go, and we're just going to write it off. We're not going to let it release. Coyote versus Acme from Warner Brothers, from the Warner Brothers studio.
Yeah. Fortunately, that looks like it's been saved.
Oh, yes. They were shopping it around. They had to go shop it around starring John Cena. So it does look like it was being saved. Batgirl, however, no.
Batgirl. Yeah, that's starring Brendan Fraser. So unfortunately, that one's not going to be making the light of day at all. But, and I was thinking maybe this movie, The Mothership, can pull a Coyote versus Acme. But again, they had to go into the whole thing of the children. What do you do? Do you play it straight? Do you de-age? And so there's a whole complication for another studio. I feel like Netflix should have just gone through it. Just kind of take the loss in a way. Just like, okay, the kids thing, we had to take the L on this, but we believe in the movie. We believe in the script. We believe in Halle Berry.
Yeah. I believe in Halle Berry. She's so pretty.
We believe in Halle Berry. In Halle Berry, we trust. And speaking about crash landings, let's go back really quick to the Oscars, and a lot of people were willing to burn down Hollywood. The backlash that we saw after people accused the Academy of snubbing Barbie in the award season. I know in last week's episode we had the Oscars projections, and we were thinking that for sure Margot Robbie would be nominated for Best Actress, that Greta Gerwig would be nominated for Best Director. That's not the case. So a lot of people were upset, including Ryan Gosling, who actually released a statement. I call it a sandwich statement, where you start with good, you get to the bad in the middle, but then you finish off on a good note once more. But before we get to that, initial gut reaction to Margot Robbie, Greta Gerwig not being nominated, because Barbie itself, I could be wrong, but let me double check. But Best Movie was nominated for Best Movie, right? Yeah, Best Picture. Yeah, it was nominated for Best Picture. So gets nominated for Best Picture. America Ferrera, she gets nominated for Best Supporting Actress, but nothing for Margot, nothing for Greta.
And they are the powerhouse behind why Barbie became Barbie, and they're the ones that brought it forward and created this zeitgeist moment in pop culture, and they get absolutely no recognition, James. Well, the whole thing about Ken being the one who gets the nomination over Barbie is the whole plot of Barbie. It's the whole thing. It's the whole patriarchy thing. It's like, yeah, Ken does really, really well in the real world. As you know, Ken won, what was it, the People's Choice? Or what was the last, Ken? It just won.
Yeah, I think it's People's Choice, yeah.
Award, and it was the only award for Barbie. So I don't get it, okay? All of these years of us trying to, it being a focus in pop culture that we need to get more representation for women and minorities, and and having more female directors and actresses and things like that, and for all of that work and everything coming up to this moment in this movie that was such an explosion and such this huge thing that everyone around the world loved, and for them not to get credit. James, I think I'm gonna lose my voice.
Let me know how you really feel. Yeah, I mean, and I get, everything you said, was right, but I understand people saying the argument of like, just because it was, tackling, topics like the patriarchy or feminism, it should be nominated. But like, that aside, look at the picture itself, look at the movie itself, and it was one of the most popular movies of the year. It resonated with so many people, not only in America but across the globe. So when you're talking about Best Picture, that should be taken into consideration for it being one of the best movies of the year. Maybe if you're going to be kind of like kind of poo-pooing on the technicality or the script or what have you, and that takes away points to make it Best Picture. I think you have a lot more outweighing it in favor of being nominated. So yeah, I was surprised that at least Greta Gerwig was not nominated for Best Director. I also understand the argument, however, for regarding Margot Robbie. You have a lot of great people already in this lineup. You have Emma Stone, Carey Mulligan, Sandra Hüller, Lily Gladstone, Annette Bening. All those performances, great performances, fantastic performances. Does Margot Robbie's portrayal of Barbie beat those five? I don't know. I thought she did a great job. I thought it was a great movie. Great direction, but when it comes to Best Actress, I could see, maybe maybe that wasn't a snub for me, but Best Director, I think, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying that she should necessarily win, but for them not to be even nominated, that's doesn't feel right at all.
I know Best Picture has like 20 submissions, but I think it's like 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I can imagine in reaction to the backlash, people saying there needs to be 10 Best Actor nominees or 10 Best Actress nominees or Best Director nominees. Yeah. So maybe not. But one thing that was funny was people talking about the backlash to the backlash. And, people were saying, not everybody gets an award. That's a fact. Not everybody gets a participation trophy. And if you just weren't the top 5, then you don't get it, even though you are really good. You just happen to be competing among other really good contenders. And so I know a lot of people were saying, this isn't the end of the world. We're blowing this up. But I think the surprise was warranted. I think the surprise to the lack of nominations was understandable. So I won't poo-poo on the backlash to the backlash, but but like I said, going back to Ryan Gosling, he started his statement saying that he was extremely honored to be nominated by his colleagues, but at the end of the day, there's no Ken without Barbie, there's no Barbie without Greta Gerwig and Margot Robbie. And so he does say that he's upset that they were not recognized, but he does end that compliment sandwich with saying America Ferrera, very happy for her, and the other incredible artists who were nominated for the film as well. So maybe, I don't know. Are we rooting for Gosling for Best Actor? Are we rooting for him over Robert Downey Jr. just to spite the Academy?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I'm rooting for America Ferrera for sure.
Who else is Best Actress? Best.
Just for the speech she gave alone.
It was really good. Emily Blunt, though. Ooh, I mean. Emily, I would have to, for me personally, I think Emily Blunt, again, America, great, go USA, but Emily Blunt, she, if I were picking the winners, I would go with her. Not saying that America didn't do great as well, she did, but Emily Blunt's on another level.
James, are you saying that you hate America? Is that what I just heard?
I never say that.
You never say that.
No, but let us know what you think. I know that our listeners, our watchers, our viewers were also hypothesizing about who should be nominated, what were the correct projections and whatnot. I know this has probably been talked to death over this past week, but let us know what you feel. I feel like you could make an argument for not including Margot Robbie for Best Actress, but I do think it was understandable shock that Greta Gerwig was not nominated for Best Director, considering that it's nominated for Best Movie of the Year. So
right,
exactly. That's where I stand.
How do you? At the very, I'm not saying it should have won or it should have been, like it was a better movie than Oppenheimer or anything like that, but it absolutely deserved a nomination. And I want to know who are these people? Who is the Academy?
You want their names, numbers,
addresses, so that we
list
can go
of
with
fears.
So that we can take, that army in Barbie, all the Kens fighting each other. With their little shorts.
You want
and
anarchy,
their ridiculous.
Is what you're saying.
I want to take that Ken army. And I want to go to the Academy with that Ken army and fight them. That's all.
How About Hollywood does not endorse anarchy or civil unrest. Just for the record.
Okay. I mean, no one really gets hurt. And just, racquetballs and tango dance, tango fights, and beach offs.
Beach offs.
That's what I think needs to happen.
We need a beach off. That's what we definitely need. Let us know if you're ready to beach off with us. We'll beach each other off. And with that being said...
Mothership crashed. Apparently, ISS not doing so hot in theaters right now either.
Oh, thank goodness in theaters. I thought you were going to mean the real ISS in space.
No. Space, the real life guys, they're perfectly fine. They're waving down from us from upper stratosphere there.
Ooh, cool.
But ISS in theaters right now about the International Space Station and what would happen. What would happen if it was a nuclear war? And what would happen to the American and Russian astronauts on the International Space Station looking down as the world just destroys itself?
I'm sure they would unite, hold hands,
Sing
say
Kumbaya.
a prayer, sing Kumbaya, realize,
Restart the human race.
Yeah, exactly.
Something
I'm sure
like that.
that's what would happen. Yeah.
Well, not in this movie.
Oh, no.
So, the premise is that both sides, the Americans and the Russian astronauts, have both been given orders to take control of the International Space Station because on board is the antidote to radiation. They've been working on. Okay, yeah, follow me here. The antidote to radiation is on board, and whatever side gets control to this antidote will survive nuclear holocaust.
Okay.
And so it's up to these 6 astronauts to look it out and see which side comes out triumphant over the other. Will it be the Americans or will it be the Russians? My husband saw this in theaters last night. He said it was visually, really cool to watch, but that it wasn't so much like an entertaining kind of movie as it was just psychological and very realistic, and really just a mind screw. Like, it just messes with your head. Very short movie, just an hour and 30 minutes. So if you just want a quick night out, quick movie, it's a good one to go see. But according to my husband, very realistic, very unnerving, especially the shots from the ISS looking down on a world on fire. And it's a sort of a psychological thriller of what would you do in that situation. And, these are all coworkers. These are people who work together, and who's going to betray who, and, who's going to come out on top, and what is going to happen to humanity. So that's ISS in theaters right now, James.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I know I saw the trailer for it, and so it does look interesting. Maybe I'll use one of my free AMC movies of the week to watch it. Ooh.
Are you an AMC Stubs member, James?
I'm a StubHub member. You better believe it. I haven't been using it recently because of just parenthood, so it's been very difficult, but I still have it. I still pay for it, and I'm going to try to go see some more movies soon.
Yeah.
So hopefully American Fiction, yeah.
We should link that up around here and see if AMC will give us some money. Would be nice. That would be nice. AMC.
When I go to the movies, I go to AMC.
Right. You and what's her name?
Nicole Kidman.
You and Nicole Kidman.
Kidman and I, when we see a movie, there's no better place than AMC.
Oh my God. I really hope they send us something. Anyways. Besides that, James, this has been a really interesting, awesome episode, and we like to round out every episode of the Hub on Hollywood with a CineQuote, with a little bit of trivia.
Absolutely. So this week we are back on CineQuote. Please join us if you have not joined us already. Again, this is a daily game that you can play, but we are playing today on Sunday, which is another Sunday stumper. Right now we are 1 for 2. We got the first week. We did not get the second week, so we're going to try to go for 2 for 3. But basically, again, just to reinvigorate your mind, CineQuote is a game where a movie is selected, and you have to guess which movie it is based on quotes that are provided, and you have up to 5 guesses. Yeah. And we used up all 5 last time that did not get it. But I feel confident. This week.
All right.
Okay.
I'm disturbed after last week's quotes. From what
Check
was
out
that
last week's quote.
Yeah. So let's see if we do any better.
We'll play the soundbite, and then we'll give a pause. We'll think about it. We'll let you at home listening or watching, you think about it for a second. But then we'll try to win this. We got this.
All right. Are you ready?
Okay. Yes. We're gonna go guess number 1 in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, Howard?
No, this is not Howard.
Oh, I'm sorry. Who are you calling?
Casey. I want to talk about that little bastard, Casey.
Casey? Who is this? Hello?
I'm not sure.
Any guesses? It sounds kind of like 1950s, kind of fun.
Yeah, it sounds a little bit like Stifler's mom.
Oh, we just mentioned her name, Jennifer Coolidge?
Yeah, Jennifer Coolidge. It sounds a little bit like Jennifer Coolidge.
Let's play one more time. 3, 2, 1.
Hello, Howard?
No, this is not Howard.
Oh, I'm sorry. Who are you calling?
Casey.
Or maybe not.
I want to talk about that little bastard, Casey.
Casey? Who is this? Hello?
I don't know.
I don't know. Let's just make a random guess. You think it's a something set in the 50s?
Set in the 50s, yeah. 50s, 60s. First thing that popped in my head was Stand By Me, but it's not Stand By Me. We could just put it in just for S and giggles, but it has that vibe, that era vibe. But I'll just put Stand By Me. 1986. Submit. No, of course. So we'll go to number 2.
All right.
In 3, 2, 1.
So have you done any movie stars?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Really? Who's the biggest movie star you've done?
Yeah, what was that one? What was the last one I did? What was that big one I did last time? I think it was Roseanne Barr. Roseanne Barr.
She's big.
She's huge.
Is it Robert Downey Jr.?
Robert
I
Downey
can tell
Jr.
you're lying.
Yeah, that didn't work.
Yeah, that's RDJ. Okay, 1950s RDJ.
Really quick, I'm hearing a little what's it called? Reverb on your side, some echo on your side. But let's see. Yeah, so this sounds No, it sounds like for CineQuote. I hear CineQuote bouncing back. Just a heads up.
Okay.
It's not too distracting, but I can hear it. But I think that is Robert Downey Jr. Like Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Maybe?
Let's try that.
Roseanne
Let's try
Barr.
Kiss Kiss
Okay.
Bang. Okay, 2005. Submitting. No, but that does sound like Robert.
It does.
Oh wait. But he's been in a bunch of movies like in the 90s. So trying to think like babyface Robert Downey Jr. I don't know, but we can try 3. Guess number 3. In 3, 2, 1.
How many clowns can you fit in this car?
I beg your pardon?
How many clowns can you fit in this car, ma'am?
Why'd you take my phone number?
What's that other voice?
Well, you never know when you might need the services of a clown, ma'am.
You have children?
No, ma'am. I can use some cheering up from time to time myself, ma'am.
Again, it has that jazz music in the background. So again, kind of like 60s vibe, taking place in that era. How many clowns can fit in that car?
He was talking about Roseanne Barr. Isn't she more like an 80s actress?
Oh, you're right. So yeah, so now so it must be in the 90s. Not Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, which is in the early 2000s, I believe. Robert Downey Jr. I'm trying to rack my brain with Robert Downey Jr. movies.
You forbade me from cheating, so
Yes, no cheating. Oh, this is a Sunday Stumpa.
Stumpa. It's a stumpa.
Stumpa. Sunday Stumpa, dude. This one's tough. Do you know? Listening, watching at home, or in your car? This is
All right, I think we should move on to the next one.
I think we have to go.
Well, we gotta make a guess.
We don't have to. We could just go skip. We can hit skip. Bottom left.
Okay. Got it.
So skip. Okay, guess number 4 in 3, 2, 1.
But what irritates me, Marion, if that's the right word for it, is that you won't tell me the truth. You can't say the obvious. You can't admit that you lied. That's what I don't like, Marion, having to play this charade.
God, Ralph, how did this start? Do you know how this started? Because I really don't
Marion,
know
look
how
at me.
this started.
You don't have any panties
You know how
on.
this started because I don't know
What do
how
you
this
think
started.
you are? One of your goddamn paintings?
Oh my god, I don't know what this is.
What is this? Let's just go to the last quote and then we'll make our final guess.
Okay, skip. This one's tough. I know people are listening and watching. They're like, "Oh, it's obviously this movie."
Yeah.
You dummies, you jerks. Sorry, we don't know. I don't know. Okay, in guess number 5 in 3, 2, 1.
How long did you say you left her in the water?
Claire, she was dead. We didn't think we should move her. It was dark. We made a decision to leave her there until we could report it. She was already dead.
And when did you report it?
This morning, today.
Today.
Yeah.
And when did you find her?
Is this
I
the
told
movie
you.
about the actress who fell in the boat?
When did you catch
Like,
the
she
fish?
fell from the boat and died
Christ.
and drowned. And it was
That's what we went up there for. To fish.
You fished while she was in the
yes,
water?
it is.
You just
This movie
left.
came out a few years ago.
Claire.
The actress that fell off the boat and drowned.
Is this based off of real life?
Based
the
off
real
of
life?
a true story. It's based
Okay,
off
yeah.
a true
So what?
story. It was
Yeah.
what's that dude?
Hold on, Christopher Walken.
Christopher Walken's girlfriend, right? Or
I think it was the other guy's girlfriend. And I'm just looking up.
Christopher Walken was on the boat.
Hold on, let me think for a second. Hold on.
She was afraid of
What's that?
water
Hold on.
and she ended up drowning.
Yeah. Hold on. Sorry. What's that? Oh yeah. Hold on.
Oh, gee.
I'm just looking at the actor's name.
Yeah.
Here's Robert Wagner. Robert Wagner's was Stephanie Power. No.
Oh God, guys, what do you think, guys? I know, we're just so close. On the tip
Natalie
of my
Wood.
tongue.
So Natalie Wood
Okay.
was the actress who died in the same boat where they went out with Robert Wagner and Christopher Walken. They made a movie about it. I didn't know that.
Yes, yeah, they did. They made a movie recently about it. But, gosh, but I don't know what it's called. Maybe we just write in Natalie Wood and see what
It's
happens.
not going to do it. But, I mean, unless the movie is called Natalie Wood, no. We can't Google it. You have to go. Are you Googling it?
No, I'm not
I see you
Googling it
typing.
at all.
I see you looking down. I think we're stumped on this. We can look at it afterwards. We have to admit defeat.
Well,
And
I'm gonna make a guess, and my guess
Okay.
would just be that it would be called Natalie Wood.
I just typed in Natalie Wood. It did not pop up.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay. Well, that's my only idea.
I think we have to give up.
Okay.
We're giving up.
Are we? Oh my gosh. Well, look, I know what it is. And I know it's like recent-ish, and I know it's about Natalie Wood, but I don't know the name of the movie, so I'm giving up.
I'm
And
giving
let's
up
see.
too. So you're gonna tell me
Tell me, what is it?
Shortcuts?
What?
1993.
Or maybe I'm completely wrong! What is this movie?
The day-to-day lives of several suburban Los Angeles residents. Yeah. Completely off, but again, it's not your fault. I was not any better.
100%. Now, there is a movie about Natalie Wood who fell off a boat and drowned, and it's called Natalie Wood, What Remains Behind. And it's on HBO.
It didn't pop up in the search.
So, anyways, we were totally wrong, so.
But we were right that Robert Downey Jr. was in it. Also in it is Tim Robbins, Julianne Moore, Jack Lemmon, Fred
Right,
Ward, Chris Penn.
It's a really frustrating game.
This is very frustrating. Again, this is the Sunday Stumper, so we've been stumped.
We need a sound effect.
Wah, wah. All right,
but
well, that
did you
was.
get it?
Did you get it?
Did you get shortcuts? And by the way, if you would like a shortcut to a Hollywood movie career, here on the Hub on Hollywood, we'll bring you occasional casting calls. And right now, there's Boston Casting is looking for background for a film called Ella McKay. It's going to be filming in Rhode Island in March. They're doing big blasts and casting calls right now, so you're going to want to go to bostoncasting.com, sign up there, get the emails yourself. It's free to sign up. There's a ton of other casting agencies here in New England. There's Slate Casting, CP Casting, Kendall Cooper Casting. The list goes on. Stick with the Hub on Hollywood, and we'll let you know when the big films are looking for you.
And you. Fantastic. All right. Well, at least, I mean, I feel like that those the news of the casting calls are an uplift right after our fall to CineQuote.
Yeah, it was after our
So we're leaving
fall.
on a high note still. I'll take that as a win. Well, this was the Hub on Hollywood. Thank you so much. Join us again next week as we try to redeem ourselves with another Sunday stumper from CineQuote. But yeah, check out the casting calls that we just listed. Also, let us know what you think about some of our topics. Barry Keoghan coming to Cambridge. He is the Hasty Pudding Man of the Year. Also, Oscar snubs. Do you agree? Was Barbie snubbed, or is the backlash unwarranted? Also, the Mothership. What are your thoughts on Netflix letting this one crash and burn while there's so many other, I'll say it, terrible Netflix movies that are given the green light and released all the time? I won't say which ones. I'm just saying there are many. So let us know.
Could if you want to say which ones. But
next week. Tune in next week.
Next week.
James Unleashed.
That's right. All right. Until then, we'll see you there. I'm Jamie.
I'm James. Bye.
Bye.